while we're waiting, Neha, do you have any updates?
In the pull request now, I have only on the meetup. I wanted to share some methods and commands which I used while I backporting and updating the 10 version of Ceph documentation. I prepare some snippets for demonstration. I guess I will push it to repository, and then you will decide worth it or not, and how to serve it better, because I don't have too much time to contribute now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had only one night when I did that select and color line, and now I haven't time to keep going on. Yes.
Yeah. So I think we'd definitely be interested in a short little demo, and then just to get a feel for what the PR is doing, and then we can go ahead and
exactly. I have the structure. We will talk about the problem. I will show the kind of demo which we already have here.
Okay.
Yes,
nice.
and then I will explain the structure of pull request and why some scripts are putting. Yes.
Okay.
And then you can continue.
Yeah, I think let's just get started. I think we have a lot of content to cover.
Yeah. Why don't you start with the demo?
Yep.
Okay. We start the recording. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can start.
Already getting recorded, I believe.
Okay. So, hello everybody again. I'm Sukhlov Ilya. I have started exploring Ceph about 3 weeks ago, and after 1 week I realized one problem, that sometimes I read obsolete or really old documentation because of I'm Google some request and get link, for example, to Jewel or sometimes to Hammer, and actually I cannot understand that this is obsolete documentation if I do not look at the URL in the site. So I just decided to try put some select as an Python documentation, and for more visible distinguishing, I get the colors from S3, or not S3, D3 JS library to get different colors and put it in different releases. So the main challenge for that pull request, can you see the code in the IDE, or should I make it bigger? Is script apply to all doc, which I put in admin directory, and the main thing which it do is get the one argument of the commit in the master and then try to apply it to the all releases branch. And if there was some Git conflict during the cherry pick, you can exit and fix that conflict and go next. Just return to master branch and try to put it again. If you manage to figure out how to resolve the conflict with bash script, you can put some comments here and resolve all 10 cherry picks automatically. After all conflicts are done, we just fast forwarding the branch name -commit to the release branch and remove the temporary branch. If something goes wrong, you just remove that release branch -commit from your repository. And for convenience, at the end, I put the loop to push all commits to the target repository, to not do it manually. So next thing that I have to due to add that select, I have to build
Can we
yeah,
pause for just a moment?
yeah, okay.
So I want to make sure I understand what this script does. What I heard you saying is that there's some changes to the documentation directories that allow this drop-down menu to like function. And this script is what you're using to port or backport those changes to different release branches. Am I understanding that correctly?
Um, I'm not completely understand you. I try to rephrase. So we have some changes in the master branch about documentation, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to move that commit back to the 10 releases branch back. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for these goals, you will like check out to that branch and do cherry picks manually from the
Mm-hmm.
master.
Mm-hmm.
And this script exactly do that you will do manually, but it's kind of semi-manually instrument to do it automatically. Because if you don't have some conflicts with old branches, script will cherry pick your target commit to old branch is about 1 minute or even less, and
Okay.
then will help to push it to all branches. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So, yes. And here are some just points when you can stop, go back, check, rethink, is it worth to backport exactly that commit, or you should manage it somehow different. Yes. So you can rethink and just remove all temporary branch and think how you can backport different changes in a little bit different way. That's happened with me when I have a lot of conflicts which I cannot backport correctly because I don't understand how to do it during this cherry picking. Yes. Yes. Yes, let's move by command line. In my mind, the next step what I had to do is create a script which will actually build full documentation tree as I saw in the Ceph, in docceph.com website. So this script called build full doc. And all that it does, it just go through that releases, check out, and try to build documentation. The main thing what should be done is just clean completely the repository to install exactly that version of libraries, of swings, on whatever. And I have some problems that not all packages was removed from build doc directory, so I had to put some rmrf from that, and then I run just admin build doc and copy the build documentation to build full doc, which I exclude from cleaning in the repository. Yes. That's all for building documentation in Bunch, but I actually spend a lot of time for doing that because one version of documentations is building about 15 minutes and completely rebuild full 10 releases. It's about hours in my computer. So that's why I spend about day and night to finish that concept. Not because of it was too difficult, but because of a lot of time where I just had to read some left books and wait when the documentation will build. And sometimes it didn't build because of some mistakes. and it's actually painful a little bit. So you have to think a lot to avoid this situation. Yes, and at the end, when that script was ready, I just add some static.js code to draw the line and draw select. I guess it's most obvious thing. I just a little bit update the script which was here. It was already prepared for that work, so it was not so difficult. We just changed the I guess here. Yeah, we just changed the release name in the URL and changed the path name in Windows location. And next thing which I wanted to share with you, it's about snippets which I had to use during that development process because that script was not enough. So I put it here, for example, like a demonstration on flow how I made it. So we add some snippets to the master, and now we want to cherry pick it to all 10 commits. We will not do it if there will a lot of conflict, but let's try. So I see my commit, I get the hash of commit, and I do admin apply to all docs and hash of commit. We go to Emperor, and we see the conflict in documenting Ceph RST. So we want to find out what happens. We made Control-C. We go to IE again. We see that actually that file was not exist in Emperor, for example. So there is no conflict. That file just not existed, and I think it's not a good idea to just add it. You should take in consideration. So I just git cherry pick console. No, not continue. Abort this cherry pick. Get back to master. Yeah, and remove that temporary branch. If something goes wrong. If you manage that conflict, you can go through all 10 commits, and then it will fast forwarding to all releases. For building documentation, yes, let's go through that snippets. To build exactly one version of the documentation, I used so this is snippet to just clean the environment. This snippet I used for monitoring of building documentation, and you can estimate by changing time in directory how fast you're building. And this snippet I used to rebuild, for example, master branch. So if I in master and I want to rebuild documentation, full rebuild documentation in master, first to command I clean the directories, run the build script, remove previous master documentation, and put new builded documentation again. So if I want to build, for example, Emperor, I will replace here Emperor and put it command to command shell. And the last one was for resolving the cherry picks. Let's see. Let's go, for example, bring git checkout for Emperor, and we want to backport some information, but we want to see not only the conflicts which we made by our comment, but we want to see the difference between master and admin. I set up my Git to use meld as div tools, so I want to make a comparison in Emperor with master and Emperor with folders, docs, and admin. Run it. Yeah. And now I can see and analyze which should I place to another side or shouldn't. Like, let's see, like Ceph doc. So we see that the exactly difference it's only printing, and I guess you will move to more modern. Oh no, it's just old Python features. That's all. And you can analyze this. Actually, I am not an expert in Sphinx in any case, so as I write in pull request description, I have the troubles with for pull requests. I guess it's Jewel, Hammer, Giant, and Firefly, but I write it anyway. You will see it, I guess, in file Ceph releases. Yeah, here. So Dumpling, Infernals, Jewel, and Kraken. So there are some obsolete strings, and you had to backport and restore it. Also, when I port back the select and the color line, I guess I not consider the strings module structure and just put back maybe some extra content. Maybe I not put some required content. So review that in that then pull request before merging.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this all looks really good.
Yeah. So because I really not sure about strings and string structure, I just wanted to see that it's work. When I see that select is done, it was okay for me, and I changed the code in Sphinx config file slightly randomly just to put it work. Yes, and I guess I have the last notice about documentation. I heard that Google started new action about seasons of docs. Maybe you should apply or somehow engage documentation collaborators, because in some part of Ceph documentation it's kind of untrustable and should be checked in a lot of ways. For example, we have in Telegram our Russian Ceph chat, and first I read about the Blue Store that is awesome. It's thin provisioning, and then I went to that chat and I found out that sometimes in a lot of situations FileFS backend it's work better than Blue Store because of some misoptimization. That it will be better in next releases only and not in Mimi. So some points are questionable in Ceph documentation sometimes, but I cannot manage which exactly now, just to notice it. I guess that's all what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Just so that everybody understands correctly, can we go back to that part of the code where we are creating this drop-down option on Ceph docs?
You need a JavaScript file,
Yeah.
or yeah. Okay.
With respect to your pull request, if you could just pull up your pull request and just show us which commit is basically doing that bit.
Exactly which commit? Okay, let's see. I guess the commit message should be readable. Yeah, add select, add Ceph release to Ceph documentation. Let's see. Yeah, it's here. So this is function which add the select with releases. Actually, after some talks to my colleagues, they advised me and I improved that select by sorting. Yeah, here I add color line, function for color line, and then I add sort or ordering for the Ceph releases, because in first version in Android and in Firefox it was a little bit messy. Now it's according to release dates order in the select.
Perfect. This is good.
Yeah,
This is
yes.
awesome.
And one I remember one more thing which I wanted to tell. It's think about the structure, because maybe that solution it still can be like a workaround which work here and right now, but maybe it's better to split the Ceph development repository and Ceph documentation repository and use the development repository as just a Git submodule, but you should kind of experiment about that and understand how it's usable and compatible, because maybe it's not worth to spend too much time to manage these two repositories and this preparation and just use that way. And while I am putting my select, also I eventually fixed that warning, which actually not shown in, I guess, docs Ceph.com, for example. Yeah, in Emperor here, that not such warning. It showed in only in some kind of 3 or 5 maybe releases, but actually in not all, and this is really confusing for when you're reading that.
Right. I think this is really useful, so the way I see it, that I was wondering, I see that your pull request, because of like it's trying to do a bunch of things. I was wondering if it'll be more useful to just make it into smaller pull requests, like just implementing the drop down and the banner could be like one pull request. Yeah,
I know. I wanted to just show you the concept because I don't have too much time. I just want to show you a way, and you can just take over and fix it from your side. It will be great if you do it in 1-2 days, I guess. Maybe 3 days with some collaboration issues. It looks like not too difficult, but still should be checked.
I totally understand if you what you've contributed already is great, and if you do not have the time, we can always cherry pick your commits and create smaller pull requests and have you take a look.
I'm actually signed off because I found out about sign off requirements only when I create a pull request. So all commits
we can always give you credit for the commits that you've already made. What do you think, Noah? Noah, I think the good way to go about this would be to just create smaller pull requests that we can, see and immediately merge, and then the ones that need more work and more discussion, we can.
Sorry. Just do it from your side. I don't have time. You can just put my send off and everything, that will be fine. I just wanted to make the Ceph documentation better. I not have too much interest in it, but it will be really useful to not get confusing in it. And that exactly I'm here. I just trying to enforce you to get over that concept and finalize it as soon as possible.
Cool. That sounds good. Noah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think cherry picking, starting by cherry picking out the drop down menu into a PR, we can do all that and then get your feedback. I have just one question. Is the drop down menu, the contents of that is the names of the branches like Luminous or Mimic?
Yeah.
Are those names hard coded somewhere, or are you
No,
pulling
no, no,
those
no, no. When
from
I
the JSON file that we publish?
Okay, okay, I understand your question. No, it's not hard coded. Let's just open it because when I already found that script, he was already prepared. I put a lot of comment reference about the names because somewhere it was easy to hard code the colors map, for example, then somehow generate this. The branch itself just gets from that JSON that generates from your YAML file. I guess let's go to that
As long as
release.
we probably don't need
Yeah,
to look through it. I
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
wanted to confirm that's what's happening.
Here's two notes where I copy paste the releases names. So when you change that YAML file, you should, or you can figure out how to regenerate this from your YAML file, or just follow that reference to fix all links in the code manually.
Okay.
Yes.
This looks awesome.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do this drop-down menu for some time now, and this looks really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It requires, I guess, 8 releases ago.
I think the biggest change will be that we probably don't need to backport to all the different branches. Is one of the main things. Is like,
Yes.
back like
You need backport only for JS files, which will kind of generate these alerts and these selects and this color line, and also check out the changes in the let's see, in the some template folders, because I found some hard-coded stuff like inserting the JSON where it was. Let's see. Oh, here I removed this one. This was insert that from someone TDM, kind of that Ceph.js file. I removed that hard-coded because actually this was added in Wings config file. Conf, I guess. And yes, and here you add this file already, this JavaScript. And first time when I add the select, I try to figure out why there's 12 releases in that select, because it was added twice. And first time I remove this one and just put here the relative reference. But then I realized that the right way is put it in the conf.py, and you need just fix the all previous releases and configuration of the swings, and also generation of 4 previous swings releases that was not built. It was just some errors with conflict of packages and everything. And I guess some old documentation in Ceph. Let's see, maybe it's dumpling. It's already horrible. No, this way. Let's go here. Yeah, this is documentation. It's completely broken.
Yeah, we're gonna be working on really. We're gonna probably leave these this documentation online, but we're gonna do some stuff to get Google to stop indexing them. So
yeah, maybe. So for that point, maybe you should consider to splitting it in into two repositories for documentation and for self-development process for easy maintains, but there is some trade-offs. So think about it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thanks for giving this demo and putting up the pull request as well.
Okay. Send me the record on YouTube. Yeah, it will be great.
Sure.
See you that select soon in your official site. So good luck.
All right. Thanks. Anything else we want to talk about, Noah?
I think that's mostly it. We have several things in play, but I mean, it makes sense for us to get this PR fixed up now and merged next, since it's ready to go.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then let's wrap it up there. Thanks for giving the demo again, and hope you can make it to following meetings as well. And look out for our smaller PRs that we are going to put up based on your request.
Okay, of course. It will be great when you fix it. I understand that some kind of work is not finished yet, but I have no time. I have no time to finalize it. Actually, great.
That's totally understandable, but you still put that up, and we're thankful for that.
Great.
All right, let's wrap it up then. We are over time, I think. Thanks everyone for joining, and see you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.